Today we want to dive into marriage and its complexity. Now we want to look at what is marriage? Yes. To the layman, we can say marriage is a union between a man and a woman. A man and a woman, where the man leaves his mother's house and father's house, and the father's house, and the woman also leaves the father's house, and they come together and stay together as one. So from the beginning, the creator, which is God, instituted marriage. Yes, that a man will leave the father's house, and the woman will also leave the father's house, and they will come together and live as one. Yes. Now, God has that intention of marriage. So marriage was all a way of what? Bringing a man and a woman together in fellowship. Yes. Now, what is that? So that is the intention of God, what? For marriage. Yes. So knowing God's purpose for marriage can help you to determine when to get married and what to do in the marriage. So knowing God's purpose can help you to know when to get married and then what to do in the marriage. Knowing this can help us endure the challenges every marriage faces. Every marriage faces challenges. So you knowing the intention of God for your marriage will help you to face the challenges and to be able to overcome them. Then it helps us to build a solid foundation that can hold us up through all kinds of challenges. Yes, so you build up a solid foundation. Yeah, that could help you through every kind of challenges. Yes. So marriage was instituted for a man and a woman. So marriage, for God's intention, marriage is not for a man and a man or a woman and a woman, as we see in the world now. Marriage was basically instituted for a man and a woman. Yes, so they say marriage is a union between a man and a woman. Marriage is always a union between a man and a woman. Yes, so in God's eyes, instituting a union between a man and a man, to him is not marriage, and it involves a man and a woman. So God's number one intention for marriage is for it to be between a man and a woman. You can get that in Genesis chapter 2 verse 18. That is why he brought Eve, a woman, to Adam and not another man. So when God wanted to bring someone to Adam, he brought a woman. Yes, not a man. Yes, so God was telling us that to form a union which is marriage, you must have a man and a woman. So that was. Now God has another intention. He wanted a permanent relationship. God wanted a permanent relationship. Yes. So he instituted marriage. So marriage is the intention of God for marriage is to institute a permanent relation between the man and the woman. So marriage is forever. Yes, marriage is forever. That was God's intention. Even though now, according to the intention of men, we divorce when we feel like we don't need to continue again. But God's intention for marriage is that marriage is forever. Is to connect man and woman on one side, so together they can connect to God. So God was using marriage as a means of connecting back to him. So he connects man and the woman, so that in turn the man and the woman can connect back to him, God. God never intended marriage to be a lease. Yes. God's intention for marriage is to cause a husband and a wife to fuse together in Christ, or in Christ's likeness. So his intention was to cause the man and the woman to fuse together in Christ's likeness, and devotion to him and to each another. Now, this fusion can only take place through the application of heat, pressure, and time. The concept of fusion together come to play in the creation of gems such as diamonds, ruby, sapphire, topaz, and pearls. Just as one needs fusion in order to blend the various particles together thoroughly to produce a particular gene, so is marriage. Yes. So just like we need different particles to form a gene. Yes. So when it comes to a gene, different particles come together to form a particular. The same way is marriage. So marriage also needs fusion of a lot of things. Yes, a lot of things need to come together to form marriage. Just as one needs fusion in order to blend various particles together, then that is why marriage needs a lifetime for fusion to complete it. So that is the main reason why marriage needs a lifetime. So marriage, God has stated that marriage should be in the lifetime. So if you are married throughout your lifetime, every day is a learning process. Every day you are connecting. Yeah, that is why marriage is a school that when you begin, you will not end. You don't end until you leave this planet Earth. So when you enter into marriage, it is for a lifetime until you finally leave this earth. You are in it, or until you lose one of your spouse. Even then, you have the chance to get married to another person. So if your spouse, if your spouse is together with you, as long as he or she is alive with you, you are with her. That was God's intention. Another intention for God for marriage is so to build companionship between the man and the woman, companionship, and also with him. So in marriage there is companionship. Companionship is one who's closely connected with another. So closely connected with another, or one who keeps company with another. So God has stated that you connect the woman to the man. Yes, that they will be closely connected to each other. Now, other versions of the Bible refers to companion as helper. So your companion is your helper in times of need. So the woman is your companion, becomes your companion when you get married. Then she becomes your helper. The man becomes your companion after marriage. Then she becomes what? Your helper. So God had that intention to connect what? Man and what? And woman. Just like he connected Adam and Eve. Then God said, when you read Genesis 2:18, then God said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper who is just right for him. So that was God's intention for what? Creating marriage. So it wasn't good for man to live alone. So he needed to create a helper. So companionship means helpership or helper. Now, God also instituted marriage to create sexual fulfillment. Yes, sexual fulfillment. Yeah, sex is also part of life. Sex is part of life, and as long as we are humans, yes, we will surely have sex, no matter the situation. No matter what, we will feel for sex. We are emotional beings, sexually emotional beings, sexually active beings. So God knew and then said that, okay, for man to fulfill his sexual need, I need to give man a woman. So God brought that for sexual fulfillment. Marriage is to fulfill, marriage is to be fulfilled and release of sexual drives. Okay, so marriage must be fulfilled and there must be release of what? Sexual drive. How must that be done? Yeah, through sexual fulfillment. So I say to those who are not married and to widows, it is better to stay unmarried, just as I am. However, if they cannot control themselves, they should go ahead and marry. It is better to marry than to burn with lust. So it is better to marry than to burn with lust. So you get that in 1 Corinthians 2, 8 to 9. So God says that to burn in lust, then it means that it is you need to get married than to burn in lust. Yes. So that was God's intention, to create sexual fulfillment. So God created sex as a wonderful gift for the union of a husband and his wife in marriage. So sex was created by God, so that the man will be able to, and the man and the woman will be able to have a union in bed. Yes, have a sexual union, will be able to have sex, which is also a gift. So one gift of a marriage is what? Sex. So the gift you get from marriage is what? Sexual pleasure with your partner. So that was God's intention. So you see, Apostle Paul admonished marriage couples to engage sex consistently and not hold back from each other unless for a very good reason. Yes, so he says that they should engage sex regularly, but they shouldn't hold back from each other unless for a good reason. So do not withhold yourself from each other unless you agree to do so for a set time to devote yourself to prayer. So even that one, it is when you want to devote yourselves to prayer. Then you say you should get back together so that Satan does not use your lack of self-control to tempt you. So after your devotion to your prayers, you have to come back so that Satan will not use your lust. Yes, your lust for sex when you cannot control yourself. Because sometimes the drive can become so strong that you may not be able to control yourself. Then you end up falling into the trap of the enemy. Yes. Then another intention of God is to raise godly children. To raise godly children. So God also had the intention of marriage. That's there must be procreation. So he says that after creating the world, he said they should fill the earth. So humans must also fill the earth. So God gave Eve to Adam from the beginning so that they will be able to fill the earth and multiply. He told the creatures that they should multiply. So you humans multiply through sex. After sex, the woman conceives, or after the man knew the man, the man knew the woman. Then what comes out of it is what? Sex. Is conception. Then after conception, then there will be what? Conception comes, then there will be pregnancy through 9 months. After 9 months, the woman goes into labor and gives birth. So you giving birth is also part of the intentions of God for marriage. So you give birth to godly children. We are not only to have children, we are also to raise them in God's way. So after having the children, you raise them in God's way. Many people are going through life with bitterness because of their childhood experiences. Yes, what is in a person's heart determines whether he or she lives happily or in misery. Many despise marriage today because of the marriages they witnessed between their parents when they were children. Yes, so raising the children in godly ways. So if you don't raise the child in a godly way, how do you raise the child in a godly way? You, the father and the man, are always fighting. Yes, so the child grows up to see that marriage is not good. When I marry a man, the woman, he may end up beating me, like how my father has been beating my mother. So you see that when it happens like that, the couples have destroyed the child's mind towards marriage. Yes, so we have to also raise the children in a godly way through our attitudes in the marriage. Then God also says that when you are in marriage, you must learn to be naked but not ashamed. Naked but not ashamed. So we finished talking about God's intention for marriage. Yes. But in the marriage, what is God's intention? God is bringing the man and the woman together to learn to be naked but not ashamed. Because everybody needs a companion. Everybody needs someone to talk to. So God says we should come together and learn to be naked but not ashamed. Now what it means, unless we come to the point in our marriages where we will be transparent in all our ways, So we must learn to be transparent in all our ways. We cannot flow in communication so unless we become transparent. So after God brings the man and the woman together, God's intention is to help the man and the woman to become transparent in all their ways, so that they could share things with each other. The man could easily share with the woman their secrets, things that are so secret to them. That is their nakedness. So their secrets, things that they think that they even fear to share before they got married. So those things are their nakedness. Yes. So in the marriage, God's intention was to bring the man's nakedness to the woman, and the woman's nakedness also to the man. Then couples who hide secrets from each other cannot get to the level where they can share everything. So the couples hide secrets from each other. They are always hiding secrets from each other. So what happens? They can't get to the level they want to get to, where they can share everything, including their fears. So it is very important to be able to share your fears in marriage. When you are married, sharing your fears with your spouse, what you fear about. Then you have to build that confidence within each other. So if you cannot share, then it means there is a problem. Naked but not ashamed means you can freely express your fears. So your fears are your nakedness. Being able to express them shows that you are not ashamed of your spouse, of sharing it to your spouse. So being able to express your fears, all the things in your soul that you are not confident enough to share with anyone else, without the fear that your spouse will use them against you. So you have the courage, having the courage to share your nakedness, your secret, your fears with your spouse, because you have the intention that, oh, we are both naked towards each other. So when I tell her my secrets, when I tell her my fears, she will not use it against me. She will not use it to look down on me. She will not use that to fight me. So you have that confidence in him, and you have that confidence in her. At this level, when you reach this level where you can share your fears, then your partner gets to know you beyond what every other person says in public. So if your spouse doesn't know you more than what people say in public, I'm sorry, there is a big issue there. Your spouse don't intend to know you than what people say in public. What may people say in public? Yes, people may have their perception towards you when they meet you in public. But your spouse knows every detail about you. And what he knows things that people in public don't know about you. Yes, it means that you have gotten to that level where both of you are naked towards each other, but not ashamed. You are naked towards each other, but what? You are not ashamed. So you do not get what? So your spouse then knows the inside out, and yet you are not worried about it because you build that confidence. He knows your inside out. He knows every detail about you. But you are not worried about it. Why? Because of the confidence you both have for each other. Then to come to this level, you must be transparent emotionally. You must be transparent emotionally, sexually, and financially. So emotionally, you must be transparent. Emotionally, you must be transparent. Your feelings, share your feelings, what you feel at every point in life. Share your feelings to her, share your feelings to him. Then sexually, you must be transparent. If you need sex, tell him. If she needs sex, she should tell you. When your sexual life when you have a problem with your sexual life, how you perform. If you are feeling any pain during the act, You must have the confidence to tell her that, oh, I feel pains when we do this style, or I feel pains when we do that style. Yes. Maybe doggy style might be so painful for her. She'll be able to tell her. Maybe the missionary style must be so painful for him. She'll be able to tell him. You must be transparent sexually. Communicate. Then financially too, you must be transparent. The salary you earn, your wife should know about it. The salary she earns, you must also know about it. Transparency. So that one of the spouses may not start having doubt about each other, about your finances. Okay, so my husband, I don't know how much he even earns. And look at the money he gives to me at the end of the month. I'm sure he has given some to the side chicks. So that you don't raise doubt in the mind of your spouse. The lady too must make sure the salary you earn, your husband knows about it. If you go out and make any extra money, let him know, let her know. So you become financially transparent. Your spouse must have confidence in their union. You must have confidence in their union. If there is no confidence, trust builds confidence. So when there is no trust, your confidence, there will be no confidence. So build your trust, and then after that, build your confidence in the union. Love covers over all wrongs. So your spouse is a human being. He will surely step on your foot, on your toes. Your wife is a human. She will step on your toe. Your husband is a woman. She will step on your toe. Yes. Your husband may do wrong. Your wife may do wrong. But love covers all wrongs. So when it comes to the time where you need to forgive and forget, just forgive and forget and move on. Because with the same measure you used to measure for your friend, when it's your turn, they'll use the same measure for you. If you refuse to forgive your wife, don't forget that there are stones on the way. If your friend's leg hits a stone and you don't pick that stone from the road and you laugh at him, the next time it might be you. So you forget, you forgive, and you move on. Then when it is the opposite, when now your wife hurts you also forgive. When you forgive her, when you hurt her, she will also forgive you. So love covers your wrong. Because you love each other, you must be ready to always forgive each other, to cover your wrongs, not going to public and spreading your wife or your husband. Look at of late, this is what he has been doing. I met him with this girl the other day, and then you are spreading. What if at the end you come together? They will start laughing at you in town. And he said the other time he told me that this and this. Then you become bad emotionally. You feel so down. To learn to solve your issues amicably. Now, how God's intention is also for us to love our spouse without limit. So the man should be able to love the woman without limit. And the woman should be able to love the man without limit. I have asked myself so many times whether it is possible to love our spouse without viewing them from the point of Christ-centeredness. So, from the point of Christ-centeredness, can we love our spouse without viewing it from God's Christ-perseveredness? He said, from Christ's angle, it is easy to submit at the beginning of the marriage when a woman you solely depend on your husband for your upkeep. So it is easier to submit when you depend on your husband for your upkeep. When the feeling of love is at its, so it means that a time will come when the feeling of love is at its beginning, or when it is at its beginning, sometimes you submit. But when it gets to its peak, what happens when you are financially okay also, and you can afford everything you need? Will submission still be your key word? So from the beginning, you submitted to you submit to your husband always. Why? Okay, so we are now looking at the building blocks that can hold the marriage for the rest of your life. So what are some of the building blocks that can hold a marriage for the rest of your life? So the first one we'll look at is friendship. So the couples must live as friends. Yes, they must learn to live as friends. Because they will be together for the rest of their life, and if they are not best of friends, what will happen? They may end up being fed up of each other. So it is an in-depth relationship combining trust, support, communication, loyalty, understanding, respect, empathy, appreciation, and intimacy. Make your spouse your best friend. So you make your spouse your best friend. Let your spouse become your best friend. Let the man become your best friend, and the woman become your best friend. In that case, when you want to hang out, you hang out with him. If you need someone to share your secrets with, you go to him or her. If you need someone to share your pain with, just like we share friends with friends, he will be available for you. So let your spouse be your best friend. No matter the state of your marriage, you can develop friendship. No matter how the state of your marriage is, you can develop friendship. Instead of waiting to fix all the issues before, just find a way to treat your spouse better. Remember what best friends do. Remember what best friends do. So what are some of the things that best friends do? They share secrets, as I said. They seek the well-being of each other. So always seek the well-being of your spouse. seek the well-being of your spouse. And also, they intentionally make each other happy. So best friends, and you see that your best friend is not in a good mood, what do? We make them happy. Yes, there's a way we talk to them. There are things we say just to boost their mood or increase their mood to happiness. The same way as the spouse, the man, the husband, or the guy or the man should be able to make the woman happy when she's not in a good mood. Try to make her happy. Try to bring some smile into her face. And the same way, the woman should also learn to bring some smile into the face of the man when the man is in a state of anger. It is in a state where he's not happy, a state of sadness. The woman should be able to bring some laughter into the face of the man, or some smile into the face of the man. Just to mention a few, these are some of the things we should do. Yes, start these attributes with your spouse. You have to start it. If you don't start it, you will not learn. So you have to start it. Everything, practice makes perfect. Yes, when we're growing up, that's the thing we learned. So when you practice, you become perfect. So you start practicing. You may not have been born with that. Yes, the truth of the matter is that most of us grew up in traditional African homes where our parents don't do that. The father wakes up, takes his cutlasses and hoes, and is gone to the farm, or is going to work, to the bank, anywhere at all to work. The woman also that goes to her starts focuses on her daily works. We don't do that. So we have to develop the sense of learning. You have to intentionally learn when you get it, so that your marriage will be better than even that which your parents had. You can only make your marriages better yourselves by being intentional about what you do. Be intentional about what you do. These things are very important to me, because not knowing these things may make you fail in marriage, or you make you not to enjoy your marriage. So you being able to know this and learn, be intentional about it and learn, will help you to develop your marriage and to enjoy your marriage. Now do everything possible, that you should do it possible, anything, to make sure your husband becomes your friend, and make sure your wife becomes your friend. So you both should be intentional about it. You both should be intentional about it. You both should be intentional about it. Learn to forgive one another very quickly. So, like friends, we forgive each other very quickly. When your friend does something wrong, no matter how angry you are, you easily forgive the friend, because that person is your best friend. So you say, oh, it's my best friend, so we've gone through a lot together. To have that kind of intentional way of thinking. We've gone through a lot together, so if that's the case, she's my best friend, he's my best friend, and my husband as well, and my wife as well. So as best friends, let bygones be bygones. Learn to say bygones be bygones. If there's no forgiveness, the relationship will find it very difficult to thrive. Then the next thing we'll talk about is open communication. The second building block is what? Open communication. There are some spouses that don't talk at all. The woman only talks to the man when he needs money for upkeep or for the house. That is when they talk. They come. She will only come. Honey, I need money for this. The man only talks to the woman when he is hungry. Honey, please, is my food ready? They do not communicate at all. There is little communication. Now note, Communication is the building block of every relationship. A relationship without communication, relationship does not start. So your marriage wouldn't have been there without communication. When you met the woman, what did you do? You went to her, you spoke to her, you told her about your feelings, how you felt towards her. So that was communication. Then you waited for a feedback from her. Then she came back and told you that she also feels the same about you. So communication. So your relationship, the foundation of your relationship is built on communication. So if you want to have a very lifelong sweet marriage, then it means that you must not take away the communication which you started the relationship with. You must continue with communication in the relationship. So communication, this is when a husband and a wife are encouraged to share their thoughts and concerns. Share your thoughts and concerns, both good and bad. So communication doesn't mean it is only when things are good that you talk. When things are bad, so you talk. You have to share, both good and bad, without the fear of retaliation from each other when the feedback is negative. So when you share your thoughts and you get a negative feedback, you don't feel that you are being retaliated to. Or you share your thought and you don't get a negative feedback. You have that thought that, oh, when I share my thought with this woman, I will never get a negative feedback. She will be intentional about helping me out. She will be intentional about advising me. She will be intentional about guiding me. Because you have already built that confidence and trust. So they talk not just about logics and reasonings, but their feelings. So you should communicate about your feelings too. How do you feel? Baby, I didn't love how you spoke to me yesterday. So you share your feelings. Then she says, oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't intentional. I wasn't intentional about it. Yeah, it was a mistake. Then she asks for forgiveness. Then you forgive her. So you share your feelings. And you both should be intentional about that. This kind of communication exists in an atmosphere where you can confidently ask your spouse, no matter everybody's opinion, you should be able to ask your spouse, what do you feel, my dear? So what do you feel, my dear? What do you feel? What do you feel about this, about the situation we are in? So you should be able to ask. You should be intentional about that. Be intentional about that. It's very key and important. Now, when you empower your spouse to share his or her feelings freely, so you should also empower her or him to share his feelings freely. Don't make him feel like sharing his feelings with you is a problem for you. You are not okay with it. Like, give her that chance to share her feelings with you freely. Then you can deeply communicate without any hindrance. So if you give her that chance, giving him that chance to share her feelings with you, you can communicate without any hindrance. Instead of enduring a nagging spouse, why do you not give him or her the chance to express his or her fears freely in an open manner? So instead of saying, oh, she's nagging, just allow her to express her feelings freely. In that case, she'll feel like, I have a husband that will listen to me. But when you begin to complain about anytime she tries to communicate with you, then there is a big problem there. I hope you are following. Now, your spouse nags when they feel pressured to express feelings that hitherto we have not allowed them to communicate freely. So they begin to nag when they feel like I've been going, this is have been my problem, and you don't give me chance to talk. So they begin to nag. So either the man or the woman, either of them begin to nag. So these things are very important in marriages to make the marriage sustainable. Now, if you want to communicate properly to your spouse, watch these things. Now, choose the appropriate time for appropriate discussions. So you should also be intentional about this. If you want to communicate properly to your spouse, number one is to choose the appropriate time for appropriate discussions. You want to talk about your children, don't wait when your husband has finished dressing and is going to work and he is almost late. Then you go to him and start saying, hey honey, and our son has done this. He's not ready to listen, so he will just brush it off. So you have to be intentional about the time, the appropriate time you discuss. Maybe bedtime, or immediately he has finished eating, you have finished serving him, and you think that he is full after work. He has bathed and he is full, and he's seated in the hall listening to maybe a news or something. Then you can just bring this. So you have to be intentional about the timing. The same thing implies to the man. You have to be intentional about the timing. Sometimes you watch the mood of your spouse. You see that your spouse is moody. You haven't done anything to bring the mood down, to make him happy, to make him free from that stress that is making him feel so bad or making us feel so bad. Then you are bringing issues, financial issues of your children. How do you think he or she will feel? He will not be in the right sense to even listen to you. She will not also be in the right sense to listen to you. So the timing is very important. The timing is very key and important. Now, be an effective listener. So if you want to communicate properly, be an effective listener. When your husband is talking, don't be doing something else. Don't focus your mind on something else. Then when you finish talking, then you say, honey, please, what did you say again? If that continues consistently, your husband will feel like you don't listen to him. You are not interested in what he's saying. It means what he says is trash. So what happens? It can even bring quarrel and misunderstanding always, and you will not enjoy peace. So when he's talking, give him all the attention that he needs. Full attention. Grant him all the necessary attention that he needs. The same applies to the man. Grant her all the attention that she needs. Everybody needs attention. When everybody needs to feel important, that when he or she is talking, the one they are communicating to is listening to them 100%. So be an effective listener. The third one is use a pleasant tone of voice. Don't talk above your tone. Don't talk too loudly. Let your tone be toned down. The word is toned down. Let your tone calm down. No, when the voice is sweet, when you tone down, it makes the voice sweeter to listen to. But when you start shouting, bang, 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 what happens? When you start shouting on top of your voice, then your spouse's spirit comes down. You bring her spirit down. She may feel so inferior, or he may feel so inferior. So you learn to always tone down. Bring your tone down. When you are talking, control your voice. Control your voice, how you talk. and your tone, the tonations of the things you say. Sometimes there are some things that you say, depending on how you say them, they mean different things, so that your spouse may not end up misunderstanding what you are saying, and then that misunderstanding can cause a lot of distractions in the marriage. Can cause a lot of distractions in the marriage. Then the next one, make your conversation fun. Don't always be too serious. So every day when you are talking, you are serious. You don't talk. Make your conversations fun. Sometimes become a comedian for your spouse to laugh. Make her happy in your conversations. Say things to her that will make her so happy. Say things to her that will make her laugh her heart out. Try and be humorous. Show your sense of humor. Let your wife be tell the friends that, oh, my husband dear, he makes me so happy. He can make me laugh out. My wife dear, she makes me so happy. She can make me laugh out. So be intentional about that too. Now share your innermost thoughts and feelings with each other. Your innermost thoughts. What you are thinking at every time. What you are thinking about. For example, a business you want to establish. What you feel about your new home. What you feel about your marriage. Your innermost thought. Things that you cannot share with anybody. Share it together. Share it together. If you have issues with your menses, share it with your husband. If the man, you have issues with your genitals, share it with the woman. Things of your innermost thoughts, share it together. Be intentional and share it to build that trust between each other. Then the last one I'll talk about in this category, about the building blocks that can hold marriages for the rest of a lifetime. The last one is learn not to jump to immediate conclusions. Some people easily jump to conclusion. Immediately the man says a sentence, then you will not even wait to see where he's going to land. Then you jump to conclusion. Yeah, so you mean I am this, I am that. Then when it happens like that, communications will always end prematurely. You always have premature communication. So always wait for your partner to conclude what he or she wants to say, and think deeper into the issue before you draw conclusions. Don't jump to immediate conclusion or interpretations. Don't give don't jump into interpreting what your spouse is saying in a negative way until you have pondered what you are told. So you have to ponder upon what you have told you. Ponder upon it. Let it enter into your mind. Think about it well, and be sure that this is what he has said before you end up making any comment, or you end up disagreeing with what he has said. Take your time and ponder over it so well. It is very, very important. Very, very, very important. Pondering over it is very important. Else, there will always be issues, serious issues. Another building block we'll be looking at is transparency. Another very important one. So we spoke of communication and friendship. Now we want to look at transparency. You must be transparent in the relationship. You must be transparent in the relationship. If you are not transparent, my brother, my sister, the man will always be looking for ways and means to check whether you are doing something fishy. And the woman too will be looking for ways, means to check whether you are doing something fishy. So be transparent in your dealings. When you are going somewhere, let her know. When you go to work and you will not come on time, let her know. If you receive a call in the house and it is a call from somebody, this person, let her know that, oh, this is the one who called me. Don't give don't give chance to your spouse to start thinking that you are cheating or you are doing something fishy. Always be transparent with all you do, your finances, your sexual life, everything. Be transparent in everything you do. So in transparency, we say this is where a couple does not hide anything. So don't hide anything from him. Don't hide anything from him. And don't hide anything from her too. From each other, whatever the cause, they prefer to tell you before you get a win of it. So whatever it is, even if it is a difficult situation, they prefer to tell you that, honey, this is what is happening. It is better for your spouse to know than to put them in limbo, or for them to find out later that this is what the situation is. It might be unpleasant when they find out themselves. So be transparent and tell them every move of yours. They can come naked before you but not ashamed. So they should be naked, as we said earlier, naked but not ashamed. They are very confident that no matter the magnitude of the situation, you can share it with them. Let them build that confidence. You will be with them even after sharing. They have the confidence that, oh, you will never neglect them no matter the situation. My husband will not neglect me no matter how big the problem is. No matter the situation I find myself, my wife will not neglect me after I tell her. So you must build that transparency. Through my work, so the person who writes this book says, through my work with troubled marriages, I have learned that many people value transparency, but their fear is the maturity of their partner to process the truth appropriately. So your partner, you might want transparency, but how do you process the issues with your partner maturely when your partner doesn't feel so matured? So you see that some partners that are not matured enough in handling issues. Yes, but you have to help that partner to build that. And this is why she is your helpmate, you are also her helpmate. You have to build, you have to sharpen each other. Iron sharpness as iron. So you learn to sharpen each other. I hope you are with me. You have to learn to sharpen each other. Now, it is therefore up to us all to mature to the level where transparency will be our hallmark. So you help her to sharpen, you help the man, if the man is not too mature, you identify and help him to sharpen himself. And then the same applies to the spouse, the lady. You also help the man to sharpen himself. Very important. Why would a man openly tell his wife he has had a salary increase? Why would a man open the mouth and tell the wife that I've had a salary increase? If there is no trust, if there is no transparency, when he knows very well that her shopping spree will begin. So if the man knows that, hey, this woman, if I tell her this, because she's not matured, it means that this money that has increment that has come, she might end up spending everything. So her maturity of the woman also matters. Can your husband trust you with his finances? That is the issue. That's the question you have to ask. And can your wife trust you with her finances? It's a big question you have to ask yourself. Can your wife trust you enough to tell you about another man is making passes at her? So your wife goes out and another man is making passes at her. Can she trust you and tell you? Can she trust you and tell you? Another big question. If there's no transparency. A husband who attended one of our conferences, so the woman shares the story, broke down in tears when he shared his ordeal in trying to be transparent with his wife after 10 years of marriage. He had a crush on a woman in his office and asked for transfer in order to save his marriage. He could not discuss it with his wife because he was not sure how she would handle it. When his wife knew after 6 years, it took them 3 months of hell to come through that. So you see, if one partner is not too mature to handle issues, this is what may happen. Why did that happen? Why did it take them 3 months? Why? It's too much. 3 months is too much. If they had been married for 10 years, it means that some fundamental things were weak in the marriage. Now, be transparent financially, emotionally to your spouse and see the transformation it will bring. It will bring a lot of transformation to your marriage when you are transparent. Do not just expect your spouse to be transparent. Don't just stand up and expect him to be transparent. Be emotionally intelligent enough for it to be easy for your spouse to be transparent with you. So you, the partner, must also be emotionally intelligent to your spouse so that he can be transparent to you. Don't let your doings break that trust. The next building block we'll look at is sexual fulfillment. We have already spoken about that, but it is also part of the building block. You must always be ready to satisfy your spouse when he or she needs you. Don't give an excuse. I am tired. I am this. I am this. At all times, when your spouse needs sex, when your spouse needs satisfaction in bed, give it to her. When your husband needs sex, at all times, satisfaction in bed, give it to him. Give it to him. So sexual fulfillment or sexual satisfaction is also another key topic or key point. There must be mutual respect. Another key point. There must be mutual respect. If there is no respect, my brother, my sister, there will be no marriage. You must respect the man. The Bible says that husbands should submit to their wives, and the wife should love. The husband should, the wife to submit to their husband. It's the wives to submit to their husband, and the husbands should love their wives. So the wife submits to the husband, and the husband loves his wife. So mutual respect is also one important thing. If there is no mutual respect, another wahala. You must respect your husband, and the husband must respect the wife. Without respect, the center of marriage cannot hold. Learn to say, I am sorry. It does not devalue you. It will not devalue you. It will not bring down your respect. It will not bring down the human in you. Learn to say, I am sorry. It upholds your integrity instead. So learning to say I'm sorry rather upholds your integrity. So be intentional about that. It is pleasing, enjoyable, and satisfying to respect a spouse who respects you back. You must respect each other no matter the cost. You must respect each other no matter the situation. You must respect each other no matter what. And you will have your marriage to enjoy. Marriage is meant to be enjoyed.